Thank you so much for attending my presentation on why Glalie needs to be fixed, and first I need to be clear, this is a biased video. Glalie is one of my personal favorite Pokemon, and honestly I couldn't exactly tell you why. It's a giant ice ball with a face, there isn't much going on, but it speaks to me. Something about Glalie is awesome. Maybe it's that it honestly looks pretty badass. The concept of a giant ball of death with gnashing teeth and cold staring eyes is raw as hell. Or maybe it's how awesome its shiny is, having red eyes to give it an even more menacing look. But I really think it's how expressive it can be. Look at the art on the bottom right, it's so cool. My problem with Glalie isn't anything related to its appearance, instead it has one of the worst competitive designs ever. For such an awesome Pokemon, Glalie's stat line sure is a letdown. Base 80 across the board is about as boring as you can possibly get while not also being literally unusable. Everything is mediocre, which in a game like Pokemon is actually terrible. Its typing is arguably the worst one it could have, Mono Ice. This is offensively powerful, but with 80 attacking stats and speed, it's whatever, and it's such a defensive liability that the damage isn't worth it. Ability-wise, it's also bland. Inner Focus isn't terrible, but doesn't do that much for Glalie. Not flinching is cool for Fake Out and Rock Slide, but nothing insane. Plus, being immune to Intimidate means a lot less since all of its best moves are special. Ice Body is similarly uninteresting, giving it a bit of healing in Hail. While nice when the weather is up, who the hell is running Hail? Its moves have given it some slight niches in early formats as a spiker with Explosion, but as soon as Black and White came around, it fell off hard and has languished in unusable territory ever since. But there's one part of Glalie that can give it viability. In Gen 5, it received the hidden ability Moody. This is obscenely broken, boosting one random stat by 2 stages and lowering a random stat by 1 stage at the end of each turn. After ripping formats apart for a bit, Moody has become one of the few things to get fully banned from most singles metagames no matter what the Pokemon is. This means that, from my perspective, Moody being on Glalie was a net negative. Not only did its last hope at viability not pan out, a lot of people only think of the Pokemon as a Moody bot, which fucking blows because Moody is rightfully hated. Now Glalie is in the unfortunate position of being hated by association to Moody, otherwise being competitively uninteresting and also sucking ass in any major format. Gen 6 though gave us Glalie fans hope. It got a Mega. This visual design is amazing, keeping the initial idea intact while making it even more intimidating. This is reflected in its new ability, being Refrigerate. Long gone are the days of boring Glalie now having the Refrigerate ability to turn its double edges into ice-type stab moves. Remember Mega Salamence's Aerolate boosted double edges? Imagine that on a type that's even more offensively inclined. But of course, what did they do to its stats? Megas all get a 100 point buff to their base stat total, meaning that they tend to be super min-maxed. Maybe they leaned heavily into one attacking stat, giving it the firepower it always wanted. Maybe they balanced that with speed, turning it into a lethal ice-type bomb. Maybe they even went crazy and gave it a new second type. Unfortunately, all of this hope was misplaced as Game Freak instead decided to keep its stats pretty even. 120 in both attacking stats is good, but you more often end up wasting those 40 points in a special attack stat that's only used for freeze dry. A 20-point speed buff is also cool, but it's a crowded speed tier and in modern metagames is more mediocre than ever. Imagine a world where Mega Glalie had 140 attack and 120 speed, where it was launching obscenely strong double edges that almost nothing could take on or outrun without a scarf. Imagine a world where its explosion got rid of its ghost type problem and could briefly return to the glory days of pre-Gen 5. If only. So how would I fix Glalie? Well, for its Mega, the answer is clear. Stop giving stat points to special attack and make it hit harder physically, especially with the defensively dogshit Mono Ice type, it really needs it. And hey, maybe in Legends Z to A they change something. For the base form though, I'm not entirely sure. A stat or type change seems hard to pull off. I'd be surprised if Game Freak was interested in changing either of those, especially if they're wanting to make the Mega more viable. What I'd instead do is fix a problem that's been around since the beginning. Abilities. Give it something fun. There's really a lot to do here. Imagine Glalie was something like Anger Shell, playing off of its angry demeanor, and Ice Shell to give stat boosts. I mean, knowing Pokemon, it would be more like Glalie's new ability is Levitate, have fun, but anything to shake things up would be nice. I just want to see it have some viability again. In conclusion, Glalie is a mess. Its stats are the most boring thing imaginable, its typing is terrible, and the one shred of high-tier viability it can cling to was not only banned, but is universally hated. Mega Glalie improves on this, but is ultimately one of the worst Megas in the game, hurt by 40 stat points and special attack that it would rather go to speed. Something needs to change. Please. Thank you so much for watching.